Hi guys, as you know, I'm a late bloomer to anime and all the anime-ness of it. So, this is my list of the top 5 favourite animes I've watched from start to finish. Now, these are all series-based. I have not read the manga to this, so don't comment saying you gotta read the manga to fully get it and appreciate it and all that. Also, this is my opinion. And I know a lot of you will not agree with half the stuff I put on this list, but hey, it's my list. And also, I haven't watched every anime ever, or I haven't even watched some of the big ones that every other anime fan has watched. So just bear that in mind, and they're on my to watch list as well. I think that's it. I'm only including ones I've seen from start to finish. So from episode 1 to the final episode. With that said, please enjoy this video, and if you do not like it in any way, just make your own list, you know. So let's start with number 5. Okay, number 5 is Dragon Ball Z. With Dragon Ball Z, I mostly chose this one for nostalgia values because Dragon Ball Z was the first anime I ever watched as a kid. And I considered it as a cartoon as a kid because I didn't know what anime was, and it was on a cartoon show which had other cartoons on it, and they even called it a cartoon, so, you know, blame them, not me. But with that aside, it was nothing like I've ever watched before. It was like fighting, violence, swearing. It was awesome. And but the reason I put this quite low on the list is I haven't really watched it that often now, and I haven't really found the purpose to rewatch it all. Maybe one day I will, but for the memory I have of it, I thought I'd include it on this list just because I've watched some clips of it, trying to get back into it, and it does still hold up today, but it's obviously not as good as most of the anime that I've got later on in the list. So yeah, I still like it though, and and Majin Buu was my favourite villain, if you're wondering, and Cell was a close second. Frieza was a third. To this day, I don't know if Frieza was a boy or girl. I still don't know. It's super confusing even now. So yeah, let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4 is Kino's Journey. This is quite an underrated anime. Even the hardcore anime fans haven't really watched this one, or have and just didn't like it or for some reason. But honestly, it's quite a unique anime. It's like, basically every episode is completely different. It's just about a girl called Kino, who for some reason everyone gets her gender mixed up. I don't know why. She's obviously a girl because the voice actress is a girl. And yeah, and also she does look like a girl. It's like, but I think it's because usually women in anime are quite portrayed as sex objects, and she's not. She's like, I guess you could say quite flat chested, which is wrong in anime, you know. But no, I digress. Yeah, basically every episode is about her going on adventures. Like she's a traveler. She travels to different places. It's kind of like they're called countries, but they're basically towns in this world. So she doesn't go like abroad or anything. It's like old country towns, which is quite nice. And one thing I like is there is no villain in this series at all. Like, she runs into a couple, but I mean, like, she isn't on a vengeance, you know, going from country to country trying to find the man who killed her, or, you know, that doesn't happen, you know, no one dies. My favourite episode is probably her origin story, which I believe is episode 4, where we'd never find out her name, I don't think. I don't know, I'm going to have to rewatch it, because apparently it's one of those animes that you have to watch twice to really appreciate, so I'm probably going to rewatch it all. And it's not that many episodes, there's only 13, so that's like a day and a half of watching, really, if you want to binge on it. So yeah, I think this is quite underrated anime. I think the reason not that many anime fans like it is because there's no particular goal. Like most anime has a goal, like like a story arc, like dedicated on one person trying to beat another person or going to a place. But no, her story arc's just going from place to place, just traveling like most travelers do. Like if you ever do go traveling, there is no purposely goal really, unless like there's an overall destination you want to get to, and you're just hopping out of the destinations to get there. When you go traveling, there is no goal really. You just sort of travel. That's it. I mean, it's a very basic goal, but it's also quite an extraordinary goal as well, which I quite like. I think they really nailed the traveling aspect of Kino, which yeah, I've talked quite a bit about it, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so number 3 is Cowboy Bebop, and this one really hit me out of the park because I I think it was Doug Walker. Like he was saying his favorite character, and one was Ed, and she's my favorite character now as well. To be fair, after watching it, and I was like, I'll give it a try, and then I looked at and watched all 20 so episodes. Haven't watched the movie yet, but I've watched all the episodes, and God, it is really good. There's some actually quite some really sad moments in it for an action-packed anime-based thing. You know, um, I can't really. It's just again, there's no main sort of villain. Like each character has their own sort of backstory. If you know one that hasn't really got a backstory is Ed, because she's so mysterious that even her leaving the group. I'm not really spoiling anything because she's in it quite late. Is still mysterious and you don't know why, which is quite nice. And it's nice. One thing I'm going to quote from Doug Walker here is with Ed, they could have easily made an average computer geek, like for sort of fat, dorky with glasses and just talks in codes and everything. No, like they went with a young girl, I think about 14, who has ADHD. Clearly, she has ADHD, because she can barely sit still and stuff. She's not sexualized or anything. She's just a hacker, but she's like really hyperactive and that's so refreshing from everything that you get to know. Especially when I say number 1, because that's even though number 1 in my list is more realistic than Cowboy Bebop. Well, as realistic as anime can be, let's face it. But with that said, I'm going to move on to number 2. Number 2, and this is kind of going against everything I've kind of said, but actually, no, I don't think it does really. I don't know. You tell me what you think. You're going to anyway. That is Soul Eater. Now, Soul Eater is the only anime I've actually bought a manga for, and it is just behind me. I just looked at it. And yeah, that was well, how can I describe Soul Eater? It's kind of crazy. It's like a tamed it's like a hyper version but a tamer version of Dragon Ball Z in a way. And one thing I do like is there's a lot of episodes, but there's not too many episodes, if you know what I mean. So if you take something like Naruto or One Piece or Bleach, where there's 400 or so episodes, if you're a new fan trying to get into it, it is quite daunting, to be fair. So luckily there's only 51 episodes, but and there's only 3 or 4 story arcs within that. So, I would highly recommend watching it. It is quite fun. It's a fun anime, as I like to call it. It's like if Cowboy Bebop and Kino's Journey are really serious and Dragon Ball Z is over the top and stupid, no offense, Soul Eater is a fun anime which takes itself seriously but not too seriously. It's like, what can I say? It's like watching a Jim Carrey movie. he takes himself completely goofy, but there's still a serious side to him, if you know what I mean. So, you know, you're laughing with him, not at him. So that's the only way I can sort of describe Soul Eater. I don't want to ruin anything because it's such a good anime, and the next one I'm not going to ruin that much either. So I'm just going to let you watch them and enjoy them. Yeah. Okay, number one. Number one is quite... This is kind of a giveaway due to my poster. You can sort of tell I'm into time travel and everything. So when I heard about this anime, I was all for it and I really wanted to watch it. And that is Steins Gate. And I think I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos. Most of my friends know I love this anime to bits. Hopefully getting the DVD for my birthday, because why not, you know? But it is a very clever anime about time travel, and it's actually a very clever time travel story. I mean, most time travel stories are stupidly over complex, but this one is, at first it's really fun, but then it gets really serious like that, you know, just out of nowhere. And I think it's around episode 9, the ending of episode 9 is when it starts getting serious, and that is one of my favourite episodes because it's his realisation when he realises, oh sugar, I've fudged up. In case there's any young people watching this, you know, but you guys probably swear anyway, so you know. I would like, I don't know if it carries on in manga, but I hope in a way it doesn't, because they did wrap it up really nicely, and it's one I've watched time and time again, and I really love it to bits, and I want to watch it now. Talking about it, it's one of those. I'm not going to tell you how they go back in time and everything, but because it is quite complex at first. But once you start watching a couple episodes, you're like, it's quite easy to explain. But then when you try to explain it to someone who hasn't watched it, they're like, what? So yeah. Anyway, guys, those are my top 5 animes. I'm sorry I couldn't give that much of a good description because, well, if you watch any of my other videos, my descriptions are very... not that good. So, but if you did like this list, and feel free to subscribe. It's free, you know, and you get able to see other my videos. I talk about anime, Walking Dead, Doctor Who, all the cool stuff that cool people watch. No, but all seriousness, thanks for watching, and if you did or didn't like this list, let me know in the best way possible, you know, so thanks guys.